Welcome back to Straight Talk. When we were just on a minute ago, we were talking about Tyler Glasgow, the
Tragedy.
case or the tragedy there, and the court case and how it unfolded. But the issue of, say, alcohol and use or abuse and the choices that people make when they do that would lead us into the other side, which is, I mean, that's the alcohol is a legal drug, if you want to use the term. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's there. I mean, so you can use. You're supposed to use it responsibly if you use it, whatever, what have you. But then now the issue of drugs in the community also is in that mix too. And of course, when Carl Horn was on 2 weeks ago, I mean, that's something that he's going to redouble and focus his efforts on his campaign to in terms of awareness and reducing the demand side of that. And I guess in conjunction with the policing side, which is a matter for the P case and authorities. Well, you know, I mean that's that's it in this simplistic nutshell. But it's something we need, again, as a community, we're going to have to come to grips with pretty bad, what he was talking about.
You know, he admitted that his hands were tied as far as that goes, and you know there's a group now that started with some of the men on Facebook. It's a men's group only, and they were talking about the subject of. They were talking about that subject of drugs and what can be done, and some of them had different ideas on what to do, and some, weren't sure, and then redirected it to other things. And I think that it's if we're always looking for the beginning part of that, we're never going to get to the end part. And what I mean is everybody's trying to, I guess, look for a solution, and they've been trying for a long time in this community. And some of the things is you had to go into schools and to do that, and have the education, and eventually the end result will be that their demand is gone and it's there. But that's the longest way to go through anything. That can never happen. Or it'll happen in another 20 years from now if it ever did. I think what has to happen is that community has to really get serious and say, this is what we're going to do. If not, that sign in front of the police department, take it down. The police actually should go there with a chainsaw now and take it down, because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything that this is a drug-free zone. It's lip service. It was a good idea maybe at the time, but nobody's following up to do with that. And that's the biggest concern. And I said it 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it here, and only to keep Carl out of that issue, and I didn't want him to put him on the spot for that, but the police need to get off their ass. They need to start doing something more and getting out there. I talked about it, that they need to start getting more in the public, and don't run away from it. It's here, you need to do something. You can still do your investigations, but you still need to be in the front and talking about what's going on, or go and make arrests. There's always this that, well, we need evidence, we need this, we need that. Sure you do, but go and do it. There hasn't been anything done for years in this community. We held the door open a few times for that last big bust that was here. The one before, there's a couple of big drug deals, drug busts that we had done in this community, but we done it as an addendum to somebody else's investigation.
As an adjunct.
So we protected the police to come in to finish their investigation. It wasn't a peacekeeper head up investigation. It wasn't. It's too big. We haven't done it. You know what I mean? We need to do it on a community scale. We need to start getting out more in the community. I can't blame the guys that are on the road, because you know what, they actually want to do something, but it's the people that are in the offices that need to start doing something. Don't hide in the office. Get out there and address this community. They should be going to band meetings and answering to the community. They should be on shows like this. They should be on the radio. They should be doing everything they can to try to assure this community that they're doing something.
Mm-hmm. But what does the community need to do?
the community needs to back them up and everybody else. But the council also, I think the council has to take a stand on this. One chief coming out and saying that they're going to do something is one thing. Mohawk Council has to make, I don't care if it's a resolution or what, saying that we're going to do this. Mike DeLille, a few elections ago, had this big thing prior to the election, we're going to do this with the drugs, we're going to do that, until he got elected. After that, you haven't heard 10 cents from him. You know, no, nothing at all. He hasn't mentioned it, he hasn't said anything. He needs to do his job. You know, if you're going to be the leader, then you get everybody on board and start doing something. Give the police more money. You know, give them money specifically for that, and I said it before, the only way that they're going to be able to do their job is to throw money at them. And make sure that the money is being used properly. Get another dog, because the one we have is a pet, and it's been a pet for too long now.
Well, there's
Put it in
like
this community.
issues that like they can't use like the drug dog because you like this, when you're talking about like evidence, like it just doesn't work out. Or
It does work out. When I was a chief, I'm the one that got done the proposal. I got the dog. I got the officer trained. I did all that. I had the council give us a rules of evidence on what the dog can do, what the dog can. It's about a 20-page thing. Dig it out of the file and look at it. And if it doesn't work today, then fix it for the evidence for today. The dog is trained in such a way that if he detects drugs, it's sufficient enough grounds to search for them. So at that time, we were going on the road. If the dog smells drugs, then you're allowed to do that search. Or you have enough evidence to be able to call for a telewarrant to be able to do that. Do you understand what I mean? So there's all these things on evidence that you can do that has to get done. You have to have the desire to do it. And that's what it comes down to. And I say it before, and you know what? I challenge the police, the council, or anybody else to come on this show or rebut whatever I'm going to say, and then let's deal with it, because that's the only way it's going to get done.
Well,
This community, I just want to say, there's a lot of people in this community now are fed up. You know, these guys, they're talking about, let's go beat somebody up, or that's not the answer. Why now that you have to do that? If the organizations that are supposed to be doing their job are doing their job, then we wouldn't have this whole thing. We need to help them and support them, but they need to do their job.
You know, there's I hear that side of it. I hear your argument there, and I think say like at the survival school, for instance, they have a policy in place now, and of course they have a student council there, and they select chiefs and clan mothers and so on. The one thing though that I have a concern is the idea of like a kid who's found to be under the influence of drugs or taking drugs is expelled from school, and I see the knee-jerk reaction to that is zero tolerance, get tough, out you go and everything else. But does that solve that issue for that kid? I mean, to me, as a community, the other side of the whole thing, other than policing, is look at these. We're talking about a lot of kids here. How do you save those kids? How do you bring them back in? Yeah, you got to remove the drugs.
that's the issue like I'm concerned about, and why I agree like that something needs to be done in terms of these like how the drugs are like coming into town, and like the big guys, but in the other way, like I think education is really important for like our young people to say no to drugs, and so situations like that don't happen, because youth make stupid mistakes all the time.
But it's not just youth, and I'll give you an example.
I know, but
I'll give you an example. Maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, I was bringing my son home. He lives down near Sesame Street area, and I seen this woman from town, a woman, not a kid, go on Sesame Street, turn the lights off. So I'm like, what's going on? And obviously, as a cop, I see things that I notice things that some people may not.
Cues.
I see another vehicle pull up, stop, and turn its lights off. So I drop my son off. I came around the turn. Woman gets out of the car. She hugs this guy, not from the community. Exchange something. He gets in his car. He leaves. She gets in her vehicle, and she leaves.
What in like situations like
At
that?
10:30 in the morning, at 10:30 at night, and that's happening. What's the likelihood that it's not? you know, or I just met somebody on the road and I'm just going to stop and give them a hug and then I'm going to leave. Was that a drug exchange? I can't say whether it was or not, but you know, more than likely, if you look at what happened and how it happened, then you can pretty well determine.
But I mean, in situations like that, is it like the responsibility of community members to call the police?
Well, I mean, look at, you know, there are people who say, I mean, I hear it all the time, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago. It's, you know, there's people who say, you know, they know so-and-so, they know so-and-so. You hear all this stuff all the time, but, and then somebody says, well, maybe the police say, yeah, but we don't have any evidence, we don't have any witnesses. No, I mean, as a community, I mean, that's the side of it, is people know, I mean, people talk and they say, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so, they need to look into that. Well, somebody's got to do it, and then somebody has to do it. I mean, that was a kind of neighborhood watch kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But once upon a time in Kahnawake, you know, there's a neighborhood watch. When there wasn't a neighborhood watch,
Yeah.
people watched. And we seem to be losing that. We may have lost it.
You know, it may have seemed that I'm hard on the police, but it's rightfully so. You know, they've been in the background for too long now, and you know, a lot of people are saying it, but they're not saying it, and some of the officials are saying it, but they're not saying it. So, like I said before, I challenge them to come on and dispute what they're doing or what they're not doing, and if they're not getting the support from council, then council need to do something to give them more money to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to what the budget is. But you know,
But is there a problem? You know, that's the police, and then there's the political side. And you know, people would say, well, you know, the police are supposed to be at arm's length from the council. The council's supposed to be arm's length.
at the end of the day, the budgets have to be come through and approved. If for addition, they already have their budgets, so if they need additional dollars, they have
Should
to.
the chief PK position be an elected position?
That's for another
That's
show.
another show.
You've
We're
been
on a
watching
show.
Straight Talk, and if you have any questions or comments surrounding this show, you can email us at mohawktv@hotmail.com or Michael Stock Sr. at hotmail.com or Jessica.
My email is temporarily out of use, so don't email me.
Don't email her because she doesn't want to hear from you. No, just for and Ross.
Oh, I'm RKM54 at simpatico.ca. Drop us a line.
Or you can call us at 450-632-NEWS. That's 450-632-6397. And if you have any suggestions in regards to how can we deal with some of the drug issues in the community, then also, you know, give us that feedback. We would like to have it from you. Ona and Yawa.
Anna.
Bueno.